Hello, everyone.
Damn.
Yeah, we're back. Ish. Hi. Guess who's back? Back again.
The Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
No, us. We are back.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's stream of Natural Ruckus of not Uwara, Second Breakfast Club.
Ren you are.
It is
Well,
like-
Ren you are.
It is 3 fucking names. Like on Roll20, one name. On Discord, another name, and actual name. Like, come on. I cannot remember the right one. So yeah, hello everyone.
Any name is good, Tom. Any name is good.
Cool. So yeah, Mike.
Yes. All right. So welcome back to the table, everybody. We've got lots of fun things planned today. But before we begin, I'd like to go ahead and go to David and let David go ahead and give us a recap of what happened last week in case you missed it. Before we go ahead and set the scene for this week. David?
Okay, so last week in the Rookery, the kind of ancient elven city that's been co-opted by dragons, we found ourselves kind of waking up from sleep. Curiosity kind of was the catalyst to that waking up, as they got up a little bit before us, did a ritual, and a side effect of that was the room filled with smoke, the whole building.
Can't prove anything.
Yeah, we woke up to it. Carrick quickly dispelled the smoke, and that was kind of it. We didn't really know what was going on. Nothing really came of the smoke thing. We eventually found that kind of ready to identify a couple of things. One of them being this talisman that Curiosity had picked up. Upon identifying it, it was found to be, at the pain of Carrick, the talisman of pure evil, and a mage hand cast by Curiosity picked it up, turned into a demon hand, scrolled a message in the floor. We see you now. We know you are here. We are coming. Knock, knock. Love, Valak. And then the demon mage hand just disappeared with the amulet. It's gone. There were some dispel attempts on the demon hand, and it did not work. And yeah, so that pretty well happened, and then immediately there was a knock on the door where this mage Abadasser showed up. He apparently was working for the Tower of Time and had been following all of our teleports, trying to find us, to determine that, or to find us here, to ask for our help. That apparently this same Valak, an ancient sorcerer that they hadn't known existed, which it should be impossible, he somehow hid himself from them, was coming after him. He had sent him a message, knock, knock, all that good stuff. And that, they wanted our help. They needed our help. We had kind of been brought to their attention through them knowing everything. Some conversations were had. We decided that probably the best thing to do is going to take him is to just go straight after Leon. We couldn't find Pomegranate. We think he may be in the Feywild. And so we're like, you know what? If we just kill Leon, we don't have to worry about saving Pomegranate at the moment. That gives us some time. That solves a lot of our problems. There's a lot of the time-specific ones anyways. And so Abadasser agreed to help us get to Leon. He's doing a ritual. He needed a lot of blood, like a couple of liters kind of thing, to kind of shortcut, material components, a kind of a teleport spell, like a portal type spell, to get us to Leon. It's going to take about 3 hours. While that's going on, Joran and Carrick decided to go off, find their dragon friend Imber, and try and get some, material components. Imber could only in order to do this was going to have to transform one of us into a dragon. Can only do it the once per day kind of thing. And so Carrick decided to do it since he's the one who needed the spell components. And Joran decided to go off and try and find himself a +3 shield. The Ember suggested to try with a gem dragon, that they would probably be the best bet on something like that. And so Joran is off to do that as Carrick finds himself in the hatchery, where it's crazy hot, but his dragon form is providing protection against it. And on the ground, there are eggshells and chunks of diamond from apparently where these hatchings took place.
That was highly accurate. Go ahead and take your DM inspiration die.
Thank you.
Well, alrighty then. So let's go ahead and we will start off with Joran. Tomas.
Sorry, I work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Hi.
fine. Okay, so Carrick and Ember go off one direction, leaving Joran behind, heading in the direction of the Gem Dragon. It takes maybe about 20 minutes to get to the site that Ember had pointed you towards, and you find there is a general difference in this part of the rookery than what you had seen throughout the rest of it. And that is that while the dragons have sort of turned the rest of the city into a bit of a honeycomb for them to go and make their nests and store their hoards and things like that. This is generally different in that this piece of the wall is made out of one solid block of obsidian. It's like just one big gemstone that has been, it looks almost from the markings of it that it has been melted through. Like if you place your hands on the outside of it, it almost has the same consistency or more the same feel of like butter.
Okay.
But if you look down the hole, it looks like it is going drastically downward, very fast, like at a high angle. But it is well lit, as the gemstone that's inside that coats the walls actually glows.
Okay. I slide down or walk down,
okay.
whatever.
You could walk that. It's not so much of an incline that you can't walk. It's just I wanted you to know that it's
really
a very
deep.
It's really down. It's like it's not kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. So the path as you go down, it doesn't wind, it doesn't curve, it doesn't twist or turn. It just continues to descend further and further and further until you're completely out of sight of the opening. And as you are, I need you to make an athletics check.
Okay. Great.
Or acrobatics, whichever you feel better with.
Oh, buddy. Don't you have DM inspiration?
I do, but I don't want to. I don't.
Oh, never mind then.
14.
Okay. It's not a hard check, this one. What it is that now that you're completely out of sight of the opening, and you don't see another opening that would lead into what is effectively natural light, you just see the glittering gemstone all around you, on the floor, on the ceiling, on the walls. And when you are only surrounded by that, it's very disorienting. In fact, Joran feels almost as though he is walking through the stars.
Okay. I take out my shield because I don't have my armor, but I took my shield and my weapon.
Okay.
And I take the shield. I gently stroke it and go, "On, buddy, on, come on," and then it lights up with light cantrip.
Yeah, your shield begins to warmly glow and illuminate the area around you. And the light that it casts on the walls and on the ceiling, on the floor, is just enough for you to be able to tell that it is in fact stone on all sides of you. But it was a very disorienting feeling, almost as though you were swimming, because all you could hear was you. You couldn't see anyone else, and you couldn't see your way out or your way in. You could just feel the floor beneath you continuing to slope downward as you continued your pace. And what is Joran's passive perception? It's like a 21, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's 21.
Passive. Where the fuck is it?
It's your perception modifier plus 10.
Yeah, but
It's 21. I have
shouldn't
it
be
marked
here
down.
like a thing.
It's not. You have to activate all the passive ones on that sheet to see it.
Okay, so it's wisdom plus 10 plus my proficiency, right?
Whatever your perception modifier is plus 10, which I believe for you is plus 11.
Yeah,
so it's 21.
Okay, great. So as you are moving slowly down the incline, now with your weapons drawn, you can hear the steady sound of drum beats. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom, boom.
Drum beats, sure.
Right. Well, you're not a bard, but it definitely sounds like a drum to you.
Cool.
Careful, it's Jumanji. You're gonna get trapped in a board game.
I'll be the rock. Yes.
This is a different game. It's closer to Whose Line Is It Anywhere, where the things you roll don't really matter and the points are all made up.
Cool. I continue my descent.
Okay. As you get lower, it actually becomes much cooler than it is upstairs, where it was sort of the balminess of like a rainforest. Down here, it's closer to like probably like a spring day. It's not anywhere near as hot as it was before, and you start to see the beginnings of a cavern opening about 60 feet ahead of you.
Is there any solid stone or anything like that in the entering?
There's nothing separating the opening from you, if that's what you're asking.
No. If like, because you said the walls were runny as butter.
They're not like they're not like butter in the way that you could push through them. They're still solid rock. It's just that they feel slick and sort of melted.
Okay, I go over to the side and knock on the wall.
Okay.
Hello.
You can hear the echo. You can hear the echo of your knocking and your calling sort of reverberate up the corridor and into the cavern in front of you. And when you do, you see something begin to move and sort of like twist and writhe on the ground just inside of the open.
My flesh shield. Oh.
Right. The floor appears as though it is covered in dragon scales.
Hmm.
On the opposite side of this cavern that you've opened up to, which is maybe about 200 feet across, there is another opening, but it doesn't go to another tunnel. It's more of an alcove, and it is stacked like super high, covered in hundreds of gemstones and bits of like raw ore, things like that have all been sort of cataloged and arranged in such a very particular way around one large egg.
Oh. Cool.
And by large, I mean literally the size category.
All right. I enter. Before I enter this large cave, I go, okay, coming in. Not trying to hurt anyone. Hello, 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 hello. Anyone home? Home.
Thanks for adding the echo effect.
You're welcome.
He's not doing the echo effect. It's just Joran just like repeating himself slightly.
Right.
Highly possible.
Joran breaking the third wall.
It's like in the movie. What was it? There was like this cowboy entering a cave, and as he was talking, there was this echo. But once he went over over a corner, there were 3 Indians just echoing what he was saying.
Right on.
It was like a I think it was like a German movie. Whatever. We can go on. Continue.
This is a whole different program. Watch Tom explain movies nobody's seen. Coming next on Natural Ruckus.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't get any answer, but as you get closer, you can smell something that smells almost like cinnamon.
Check you're not on fire. Everyone knows you're such a good cinnamon roll.
Oh no, my buns!
Ew.
Can I start. I take out my weapon and start pounding it against my shield. Hello.
Okay.
Ting, ting, ting.
So as you do that, the floor shudders, and
buddy.
you actually see the scales that are on the ground all stand up on their end.
Uh-oh.
Is this the fucking dragon I stand on?
Uh-oh.
As
Undo.
massive serpentine body begins to sort of quake and stretch and move.
Can I run to the entrance?
Which entrance?
The one that I came in. Through.
You can try.
Okay.
You would have to make an athletics check at disadvantage.
Sure. Ooh. Why? Again? Oh my god. That's way better.
Unfortunately.
What was
Have
it?
to take the lower one.
Was it athletics or acrobatics?
I'll allow either.
Then it's 14. Again.
Okay. So let me describe what happens then.
Okay.
So as you're moving across this room, you see all these scales stand on end. As the floor begins to sort of shift and spiral and move, as the inner coils of this floor begin to puff up and gain height, until eventually the center of the floor stands almost like a cone or a pyramid, and resting in front of the opening that you came through is the head of a massive dragon.
I put away my weapon.
It has this sort of sparkling, shimmering scale pattern all across its body that catches all the light from your shield and glitters in such a way it almost looks like a kaleidoscope. Its eyes are like mother of pearl and reflect at you this sort of swirling blue, green, pink color. And you can feel cool breath coming from its nostrils as two long red bits of its scaly body sort of flick back like hairs, but they look almost like catfish whiskers. And this head is probably, to give you a real world adaptation, it's like the size of a school bus.
Okay.
Dang.
And you see all of the scales all begin to slowly go back down. Please don't do that.
I'm sorry, but you weren't responding to my knocking or asking if anyone's home, and I didn't want to. Yeah. Hi, I'm Joron. Nice to meet you.
The dragon tilts its head almost 90 degrees,
I do the
completely confused by the thing that it sees standing on top of its coiled body.
I try not to aim the light from the shield into his face.
Like directly at it.
Yeah, I kind of like put my hand like this so that it shines on the side.
Right. And how did a morsel like you come this low?
Well, my friend, is Amber her or
Ember is a her.
is it she? Yeah. Well, my friend Amber, she told me about this nice place of yours, and I can see it's a very nice place you have here. You really know how to decorate your home. It's quite exquisite. But I came here to trade. If you are interested in something like that.
Trade.
Yes.
Well, I think we might be able to do something. The head begins to slowly lower, and it starts to slip lower than even the coils are, almost going down like an elevator.
Okay.
As it begins to slip out of view, you hear an echo come up from beneath. Are you coming?
Oh yes.
You see that one of the coils, the one that goes directly back to its neck, is sort of leaning downward, almost like a slide.
I slide down.
That sounds like a Joron thing to do.
Yeah.
as you slide down the back of the dragon and sort of butt up against its platy ridges on its forehead, and come to a stop. You now see that below its coils that you saw up top are just hundreds of miles of dragon. It is uncanny how large this thing is. And unlike the dragons that you have seen other places in the world, this one doesn't appear to have any wings at all. It is just a massive serpentine dragon. As you are going lower into this sort of cistern beneath it, the walls change from that sort of glittering, sparkling color from the tunnel into this sort of disco ball, reflecting light in every color imaginable, bouncing all around you. And you can hear the mewling sounds of what sound like kittens below.
Is it? Oh, oh.
And looking down at the ground, you can see the blue-green flames of other crystalline dragons that look like they can't be larger than house pets.
Oh.
As they clamor and clack and run and play and tackle and jump and bite and throw each other around on an uncanny amount of gemstones, treasure, and coin that has all been amassed in a massive pile.
Do I maybe see a +3 shield?
You see a lot of things. As the head of the dragon rests on top of the horde, and the tiny baby dragons all rush up and begin to suckle at the dragon. Go ahead, find what you need, and then we will name a price.
I don't I approach the horde. I don't put my hands on it or anything. I just look around with my hands behind my back.
Well, technically, the horde is even the ground.
Oh.
Like everything beneath your feet is all treasure.
Okay, then
so you've been given the free way to go and move around and look.
Okay, so I move around and look for a +3 shield and some diamonds. And
Okay.
the diamonds, I look for them in a way that it's not something I want. It's something like there's something pushing me to get them.
Okay. Then make me a perception check.
Okay. Come on, blue one. Oh. See, can roll better.
Tom, please don't. Tom, though, please don't go that you're rolling your dice that low down below your camera, because that looks so unfortunate from the perspective of the camera.
25, by the way, perception.
25. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, as you're moving around and looking over the treasure, it's not hard to find diamonds. Like, I imagine you don't put your hands on them, but Joran makes a mental note of where he saw a pile of them.
Yeah.
What you're not finding, though, is any type of, arms or armor anywhere in this. It's all coin and gemstone. Until you see there is a pile that rests beneath what have to be the dragon's back feet. That looks like it is discarded odds and ends of weapons and armor and shields and things of that nature. Things that are not gemstone or coin. That is all just sort of pushed to the side, almost like refuse. And sort of pinned between a suit of armor and a chest that is sort of overflowing with fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
You see what looks to be a shield that is wrapped in a black cloak.
Dragon? Can I have a closer look at this shield wrapped in a black cloak? Hello?
You wish to have this garbage?
Oh, it looks interesting to me, and I am a person who could use that sort of a thing. It helps in my occupation.
Mhm.
I would have to have a closer look
Okay.
what kind of a thing it does, but yeah.
The dragon shifts its large clawed foot off of the pile
Mm-hmm.
and sets it beside it.
Thank you. I go.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no. So as you approach, and you find this thing, you take the cloak off the top of it, which to your touch almost feels like ink.
Mm-hmm.
It's unnatural in your fingers. The shield, however, is just this unbelievable otherworldly thing. Um, this this golden shield, it's fashioned to have this roaring lion's head on the front of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it appears as though this lion was caught mid-roar on a field of blue. The thing actually is three-dimensional. It's not just an image. And you can actually touch its fangs and its nose, and you feel the head. And while it is golden, you can actually feel the individual hairs on it.
Cool. Uh,
As you look at it, the lion winks at you.
I kind of hold it with both of my hands.
Oh, you're gonna just pick it up off the ground?
Yeah, I'll pick
When
it
you
up.
when you do, the thing actually snarls a little bit. Not like an
Oh, no.
angry sound, but more like a feed me sound.
I go take my rations and give it like a day worth of rations in the mouth. I just put it there.
You put it into the mouth, and it doesn't seem like it's moving at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're like, huh, I guess it doesn't want them, and you reach forward to take it back, it goes, how? And with no chewing whatsoever, opens its mouth back up, and they're not there.
Oh, it's a shield of eating. Nice.
This is a +3 shield. This is probably the finest shield you've ever seen.
Yay. Dragon? Before I say anything, I go have a look at the cloak. Because it
Oh,
felt
okay.
unnatural in my hands. I try to like see what it is.
Okay.
And you know what? As I edit, as I go look at it, I think about like, this is magical. This might be magical. I really need to know if it's magical, and I cast detect magic.
It is definitely magical.
Okay. Is there anything else in the? I think it's a 30 feet radius, right?
You do
But, yeah.
detect several magical items in here
Mm-hmm.
that there are buried throughout the horde.
Okay. Um, I kind of put the cloak over my hand. I take the shield, put it under my arm. I walk over to the stack of diamonds, and I want to pick. Would I like? I want to have diamonds that are that cost like 300 gold.
Mm-hmm.
One of them 300 gold, and I would like 15 of them.
So you want 15 diamonds that cost about 300 gold?
Yeah, each costs
Right.
300.
Okay. Yeah, that's not hard to find. This like the gemstones aren't exactly sorted.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place, but you do happen to find one pile that is almost entirely diamonds.
Yeah, I have time. I
Um,
can go through it.
Right, and you're gonna have to make an appraise on some of them
Well,
in order to get an idea of what they're worth.
what's that?
That is going to be let's call it an intelligence check.
Okay. Straight intelligence. Ooh, nice. That is a 20. Unnatural.
Oh yeah, then while you are not necessarily a jewel crafter or anything of that nature, you know just about how much something would be worth.
Okay.
And so, like a 300 gold piece diamond is about the size of like a human's eyeball.
Cool.
So yeah, you find a sack of them. You know,
Mhm.
about maybe 30 of them that are sitting around. So you can take from that as many as you want to try and barter with the dragon for.
I'll take 20.
Okay.
Take 10. Cool.
Should have said, I'll take half.
Okay, with all of this, I walk to the dragon's head.
Okay. The little dragon pups are now all running around and playing in front of the large dragon head. One of them chewing on its whiskers.
So I went through the stuff, and here's basically what this is 20 diamonds worth altogether of 6,000 gold, and this lovely shield and this cloak that I actually don't know what it's doing, but it's intriguing and it feels nice. Weird, but nice. Yes.
Okay. The dragon eyes everything very carefully. You feel almost as though its view it is almost staring through you. Both judging the contents of your arms and also the contents of your being. I will take the 6,000 gold pieces, the gems. For the shield, I want 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
For the cloak, that is priceless. But
Smiles are priceless too.
Perhaps we could come to an arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
This place, my spawning pit, it is in need of some repair.
Mm-hmm.
If you could find someone or some way to make the necessary changes I need around here to better suit my children, then I would be willing to part with it for 5,000.
So they want me to find a better place for them to live, or someone who could.
They either want you or someone you can find to come and make repairs and changes to this pit that they are
Mhm.
in order to better suit their offspring. This is something that is likely going to take a large amount of time because this is a very large space. But the dragon is willing to wait as long as it takes.
Okay. Well, I am willing to find someone who would be able to help you with this thing. And probably some other people who could help them as well. I see this is very big, and it would probably need a lot of work on. Yes, I will help you make this a better place to live.
Thank you, Shoran.
What? Can you repeat that, Mike? I didn't quite hear.
Thank you, Shoran.
Okay. I'm Joron. Joro.
Shoran.
Okay. All right.
The dragon grins at you, which is both an unsettling and scary thing.
Okay.
Because most people don't see a dragon's teeth until they're getting eaten. But this one definitely does not seem aggressive.
Mm-hmm. I will leave the dragon with 9,000 gold.
Okay. So that should pay for everything but the cloak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's
Cool.
like 1,000 on top of what
Right.
they wanted for the diamonds and the shield.
Okay. Yeah, you can just sort of throw it out onto the horde, and
I do that.
it'll move in with everything else.
I will do.
As Joran hand after hand tosses out about 9,000 gold pieces, the dragon pups all sort of lose control and begin to roll around in the treasure, running after each and every coin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back over to Carrick.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, the ground is littered with shattered eggshells and chunks of gemstone. Diamond in particular, you see in large quantities. There are several other gemstones that are mixed in there, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, things like that, but not quite to such a degree. And if you try to touch them, they actually feel hot to the touch. not so hot that they would burn you in your current form, but hot enough that you could probably cook an egg on them.
Okay. Do I think this is the source of the heat in here? In this
It is
hatchery?
likely. It is likely it's the source of the heat.
Okay. So Ember's still here with me?
Yes. As you move in and you see these gemstones and cracked eggshell pieces, you start to see the opening of this particular cavern, and it is a large sort of oval-shaped room, and there are dragon eggs that are probably about 10 feet tall and maybe about 6 feet wide, that are stuck about halfway down into this gemstone. And you can see like sort of plumes of mist, like steam, coming off the tops of the eggs. It's almost like this is an incubation chamber.
Okay.
There is a rather large dragon in the center of this room, about probably huge sized, and with bronze scales. It looks really old,
Okay.
like older than any dragon you've ever seen. And as you come in, it lifts its head, and then its other head, and then its other head.
All right. So I can talk as a dragon still, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, you can speak. I mean, the polymorph, the only thing it's not going to do is it's not going to give you any extra languages. So at least you speak Draconic.
Yeah. And I know Ember speaks
Draconic and Common.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna kind of to Ember like, okay, so what's the plan here?
The egg keeper is very particular about who is allowed in this chamber. Only those that are considered the most trusted are allowed to be among the young.
Okay.
Now, that is us. I hope you do not mind that I have chosen the form you have taken so particular.
Oh no, it's no worries.
As long as you are ready to play along, we can gather all of the particulars that you require.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you just whatever works.
The huge, lumbering, three-headed bronze dragon, I thought I'd say all those words in a sentence, moves up to you, and it's two of its heads, the center one and the left one, sort of curve around and address Ember directly, while the right one appears to be getting ever closer to you and looking very closely at you. The other two heads speak in unison, and I'm not going to try and do the echo that Tom did. Though, Tom, you're free to echo me if you care to.
Ember.
What has brought you
What
here
has
today?
brought you here today? I'm not going to try.
That was funny for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Good sport, Tom. Good sport. I have come to inspect young. We have heard rumors that some are waking much sooner than they should. And you thought it wise to bring him? Are you afraid? The old dragon looks utterly shocked. Fear has no place in my heart. I don't care if it's from you or from this lord. You mess with the young, you mess with me. You know this. I know this. Ember says, looking back over at you, Carrick. Come with me, Lord Tracarius.
I will just kind of give an aloof nod to Ember.
As the two of you move into the room, this three-headed dragon looks at you with all three heads, sniffing you as you move past.
I am unconcerned by this peasant.
Things would be bad if you were simply using an illusion spell, but polymorph, that's pretty effective. You even smell like a dragon. And after a couple of good whiffs of you, you hear him chuff at you like, and blow out his nostrils, and then go and sit back down on the pile of gemstones and coin that was positioned underneath him until he had moved. And curl two heads around his body and lay one on top to watch the both of you move through the room. That was good. You work well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what he talks like, so I just, thought silent treatment.
If you find yourself needing to speak, try to be very rude and angry and cut people off. That's the way that he tends to speak.
Sure, yeah, you know me, so good at those things. All right.
You move in closer to the eggs, and you can see now that it is just littered with diamonds. There's more diamonds here than in the treasury of Mechanos.
Okay.
Some of which are totally uncut. Just large diamond gemstones. The size of canoes.
Okay.
Choose quickly so as not to raise suspicions.
Mm-hmm.
I will distract.
Real quick, am I able to cast in my dragon form?
As long as what you're casting requires no somatic components.
Okay. Also, does he have a good line of sight on... I mean, clearly he's got a line of sight on me, but is there... could a medium, where I'm at, could a medium thing not have, be hidden somewhere?
So, you mean as far as could it be hidden from his view?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's about 10 feet between the wall and the eggs. So you could easily hide behind the egg. Or if it was not you particularly, they could hide between you and the egg easily. And then, as I had said, two of the heads have gone back to sleep. The third head is the one that is watching you quite closely.
Mm-hmm. So no somatic components.
As Ember has moved away from you, and gone back over to the bronze dragon in order to try and distract him.
All right. Well, sadly, Jimmy Plane's out of the picture. Hey.
Just put them in the little pouch on your belly. Dragons have that, right?
You
Right,
can just
yeah.
scoop up a whole bunch of them with your mouth like a backhoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a hamster. Just like
Right.
have it tucked in the cheek.
Mhm.
I love how both you and I did the same thing at the same time, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, a canoe could fit inside of a 10-foot cube, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Depends on the canoe, to be fair, but
Canoe fit in a 10-foot cube?
I hate everything.
No, I canoed.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that it's a canoe, not can't new. So
It's a canoe, not a canoe.
Yeah. All right. So this is just verbal.
Oh god, what is about to happen here?
So
Carrot casts vicious mockery.
with teleport, I can teleport an object within 10 feet of me to a destination of my choosing as long as it can fit inside of a 10-foot cube.
Hell
It's a single
yes!
object.
You
damn.
fucking genius wizard. I love you and your brain. Yes, just
So-
transport a 10-foot cube worth of diamonds, just like
Damn.
It's gotta
Fury and
be
Tosh are
one-
about to have a weird fucking day.
It's got to be one single object. So I can't do like a horde of them, but I can get that canoe-sized diamond.
It's gonna
Yes.
land at the
Wow.
observatory upstairs, and we're gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
It's gonna come in and it's gonna sound like an elephant just dropped on the roof.
hmm So yeah, I'll kind of I'm supposed to be inspecting the eggs and stuff.
Mhm.
So I will just give like a good investigation on these eggs, kind of looking around them and stuff. And as I kind of walk around it, when my back's to him, I will just quietly cast teleport, so he can't see my mouth, and just teleport that to the observatory since I'm very familiar with it.
Fucking brilliant! Holy shit!
I'm curious, just for the sake of it, what is Carrick's word for the teleport spell?
Oh, I get to choose? Ooh. Well, my standard.
I allow you to flavor your spell however you want. You've got a verbal component. It doesn't say what the verbal component is.
Please.
What does Carrick say to cast teleport?
Hmm. Oh, that's a good. Oh, I'm just gonna just kind of, sorry about this.
Carrick has
Oh,
to be really, really careful not to accidentally cast teleport in the future.
Yeah.
well,
That
it's all about
episode-
intent. It's all about
Mm.
intent.
That
Yeah.
episode where
Yeah.
Carrick gets drunk and he bumps into somebody. He goes, "Sorry about this," and they just vanish.
Mhm. Just they find themselves in the rookery.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so that one massive diamond vanishes from your sight instantaneously. Meanwhile, you turn back to see that Ember is currently engaged in some sort of very heated argument with the one remaining head that is looking up. You can't hear what they're talking about specifically, but it is very heated, as you can tell by the fact that both of them are actually breathing flame as they talk to each other.
Okay. So yeah, my claws. Can I like hold stuff in them, or would I have to
Sure.
like?
Sure. It'll be hard to walk if you use more than one, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I'm not flying. Could I like kind of just get some like in my wing and kind of hold it up against my body or something like that?
In your
Yeah, I don't-
armpit, basically.
Yeah.
I'd allow that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna take a handful of these things and just
Right.
kind of get him up in there while he's distracted.
Right.
You're such
I don't
a
really
human
care.
in dragon form.
Very good.
Great. It's great.
Okay. So yeah, so you've got your armpit full of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wing pit, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Right.
Curiosity has done this trick. For sure.
Okay.
Right.
That is going to be a 27 on my investigation. Is there anything wrong with the egg?
So these eggs, unlike the other ones, are not producing any type of steam over the top of them. This one and one to its left and two to its right are all of them just sort of dormant. They don't appear to be doing anything. They do seem off. In fact, as you get closer to them, they smell almost acidic.
Could I know what that means?
Yeah, sure. Let's make a nature check. Let's call it nature.
Okay. Not just the greatest at it, but +7. 21.
Okay. So Carrick, somehow a scholar in dragons as well as everything else, is well versed in the idea that these eggs exhibit the signs of the same race of dragons that they come from. Red dragon eggs tend to be harder and hotter. Black dragon eggs, on the other hand, smell acidic. And the membrane on the outside of the egg is thinner. So you can actually feel the young inside moving.
Okay.
So to you, that doesn't come off as odd. These must obviously be black dragon eggs. But in recalling, you have not seen a single black dragon in the rookery since you've been here either of those 2 times.
All right. And I'm confident that the egg is dormant.
Yes, it definitely does not seem as though it's doing anything. You could try and touch it.
Yeah, I'll just give it just a little soft. If I feel like I could feel it moving inside, I'll see if I feel it.
Okay.
It's moving.
Yeah, the one that's directly in front of you. Are you going to use your claw? Are you going to touch it with your head? What are you doing?
I guess I was already kind of smelling it, so I'll kind of just place your
your
head
forehead
to
up
it.
against it.
Kind of listen in on it, press the ear hole.
The young inside is definitely moving. However, the sound that's coming from it, as you've now gotten close enough to press your head against it, it sounds almost like whimpering.
Are you going to teleport it?
I can't. I already used teleport. So, well, I mean, I could use slot, but I don't want to. All right. So yeah, I'll just kind of walk up to the 2 of them as they're arguing.
If you wanted to have a way to come here anytime you wanted, And you should have been paying attention when they were choosing who was going to be over the young. I am the one that they chose. You did not even put your hand in the air.
I'm going to interrupt him and just say, whose egg is this?
The one you touched, I assume you're gonna reference in particular.
I'll just kind of
point with your tail.
yeah.
Those ones, they belong to. I believe they belong to the Red Claw. They are up in the upper spire. Why?
It is unwell. Is this your responsibility to look after this egg, or is it theirs?
You want to roll intimidation for me? Give me advantage on that.
Okay.
Fuck, Carrot can bite.
19.
19, eh?
Daddy Carrick.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a whole other chapter. Go right ahead, Tom.
Carrie's going to write that one.
You see, and since we've already made reference that Carrick is like just a scholar of dragons, you can see the definite look on this bronze dragon's face, that it goes from contempt to fear. But not like you're gonna kill me fear, more like I'm about to throw up fear. Ember steps in and goes, "Perhaps you are unsuited for this job entirely." Looks between the two of you. Nothing has come in or out of here. Not ever. I am here. Nothing leaves until these eggs hatch. What could possibly have gone wrong?
Is that not your responsibility?
I'm their caregiver. I am their keeper. I'm not. I mean, it's you. I will see to them.
Of course you will. Because from where I am right now, I hear that you have done your job so perfectly, these young are dying.
Dying? The other two heads sit up, and you see all three of them.
So this will be remedied before I come back.
Yes, absolutely, yes, quite.
And perhaps you should inform the one whose eggs these are. They may wish to know that.
It will be done.
And I just leave.
Ember's walking behind you until you get out of the cave, and comes up right next to Carrick and goes, "Where did that come from?"
But you just said to be rude, and I correct people on it a lot, so I figured I'd just kind of go with it,
Did you channel anyone in particular when you were trying to be super rude?
I mean, the Lord thing helps. I've been a diplomat for a long time. I've interacted with a lot of them. I just kind of figured, they're just used to getting what they want when they want it. So, just kind of go with that.
Well, you handled yourself well. Those young, it was wise of you to check them.
I figured the excuse couldn't have come from nowhere, or else it wouldn't have worked, so.
It was very wise of you. Now we have what we need, and those young will get what they need.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, wouldn't want anything, bad happening to them. I would check in on them again
Oh, don't worry. I will be ever close. She leads you to the mouth of the cave. I assume that you know the way from here?
Oh yeah. So how long am I a dragon?
I'm sorry, what?
How long am I a dragon by?
Until the spell is dispelled? Or 24 hours?
Oh shit. Okay. Cool. I'll kind of put the kind of dump the wing of Jim's out and get him in my mouth, and just kind of like fly off.
They taste a little bit like dragon pits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back at the house, Tasha and Curie and Abadasser are all there. So tell me, Tasha, Curie, what are you two doing?
Well, having just done a bunch of bleeding, I might have gotten us a snack. So
Got a cookie.
right. Yeah.
Get that iron up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be sitting a little off to the side where we're not like right next to Abatasser.
But we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what he's doing is not like any other ritual you've ever seen anyone do. And by that I mean, it doesn't appear as though he's like scribing any type of language, or for that matter, it doesn't appear as though he's doing any type of meditation. In fact, if it looks like anything, it looks more like he's sort of building something. He has the one of the chairs that goes around the table that everyone was dining at downstairs, up on the table, and he has disassembled it. And he has begun to sort of shave the edges of the seat of the chair down with his knife. As he's doing so, there are ribbons of wood that are sort of flying off in every direction. The dog is watching intently, wagging its tails. You notice now that at the end of each of the tails is in fact an eye.
The Beholder puppy crossbreed. Fucking ridiculous.
I just remembered.
Mm-hmm. The whole house creaks very suddenly. It's a groan that sort of twists its way through the place. Almost as though there was a very stiff wind that shook the outside of it. And then you hear a loud thump come from upstairs.
We should go.
Yeah.
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 While we go upstairs, Tom had a thing to ask.
Tom.
Before I leave the dragon, as I'm kind of leaving, I will say, oh, and Ambassador, is it
Abadasser.
Abadasser? Oh, Abadasser says hi. Bye. Because I forgot, and Joran wouldn't forget. Okay, good. Continue.
Okay. So, you rush upstairs. The sound you heard came from the second floor.
Okay. Yep.
So, on the second floor, there are 4 rooms. And then a 5th room that is the bathroom. Aside from that, there are 2 walls of bookcases and the stairs that go up to the study or the observatory.
Check each room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whichever
so,
room that Kiri goes to, Tasha goes to another, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
One room looks not just unused, but covered in cobwebs.
Mhm.
One room looks lightly used. And the next room you run into is Amy's room, as she is in the middle of putting her armor on. She looks up at you confused. What's going on?
We just heard a thud, like a loud thud. The house went and then thud. So, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Did you hear the thud?
No, I didn't.
You should work on that. Okay, please continue. Sorry to interrupt.
So what the fuck?
In the
There's
fourth
still
room,
another room.
in the fourth room, there is. It doesn't look as though this place has been used, much like the first room. However, there's one thing that seems out of place.
Mhm.
It is a full-length mirror that is decorated with hand-carved sort of characters that look very much like the priests and clerics of the Church of the Myriad.
Is the mirror super dusty and covered in cobwebs like
It
the
is
rest
not.
of the room?
It is not.
Oh, that's strange. Yes, sorry, Nari.
I was just gonna say if I could make any sort of like if I can gauge whether or not this mirror is like, whoa, it's magic, you know?
Can you detect magic?
See, now I can't. But would I know of a mirror like this? Is my question. Could I use my arcana to see if this is some like if a mirror covered in myriad
You
carvings?
you can't use Arcana for that, but you can use religion.
Well, Nairi
Even
rolls
from
for
that-
that.
Even if I'm not proficient?
Yeah, that's fine.
As Nairi rolls that, does it look like the mirror in my family's apartment?
It does. Only that the frame is different because yours isn't covered in myriad stuff.
That's a 19.
Hey.
So you don't recognize it in particular. The frame of it appears to have been carved out of ebonwood, which has been extinct for like 3,000 years. They used to attribute it as being the first offspring of the world tree.
It is strange that it is so clean. It is old like the house, but clean.
Yeah, it's like everything else is untouched except this.
Does anything in the room look like it's been disrupted? Like, I don't know, okay, by something suddenly appearing and moving stuff out of the way?
Or
Does anything look
footsteps, maybe.
Yeah, or footprints in the dust?
You don't see any footprints. However, there is a spider web that was connected from one side to the other of the closet in this room. Sliding doors, and it appears as though it's been pulled apart. The doors to the closet are closed, but the spider web appears to be damaged.
I go like,
Motion.
gonna sneak over to the closet door.
Mhm.
Tasha, get your sword.
Gonna silently like make my sword manifest in my hand. First time I've been holding it actually.
Yank the door open.
You throw the door open, and you find that this closet is far deeper on the inside than it should be. There
Oh
are
shit, we're going to Narnia.
there are about a dozen robes, all in various states of decay, that appear to be the same type of robes you've seen the Church of the Myriad use before. And behind them, the closet continues onward into what looks to be a small shrine. All on the walls, ceiling, and floor, and on the very back wall especially, are shards of mirror. And burning in a bowl full of water is a small candle that continues to sit atop it.
Do you recognize this?
I mean, when Astrid started doing her training, I've been to the temple there in Amalar. I mean, we went there before. She did not become a cleric until after I had to go. It is that it tracks with what I know, but I am no expert. You would have to ask Astrid. I don't know. Out of character question. I'm just putting some context. Did Felix say that V was a cleric? Out of
No.
intro. No, okay, because somebody said something about a hell of a cleric at one point about the Bronze Eye Trading Company, and I just wanted to make sure my brain isn't off on the wrong direction.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, they did not say that V was a cleric.
gotcha. Okay. But this candle, has it not been recently? Is this recently
It's
lit, I should
lit.
say? It doesn't look like an ever-burning candle, I guess.
It does not look like an ever-burning candle. Are you going to move into the room?
How big is the shrine?
The shrine is probably 5 foot square.
And does the room fit 2 people?
The room could fit 2 people.
Someone's not in there already.
Let's take it slow.
Okay. Yeah, just sort of step in.
Okay. As you step in, your intensely high passive perception detects the smell of sort of like a deep burning smell, like a burning wood.
Mhm.
And as you press forward inside of the shrine, you find that on the opposite side of the bowl is a smaller bowl that's about almost like a finger bowl that is filled with burnt matches. One of them still smoking.
Somebody is here, or was just here. I know Myriad followers can use the mirror. I have seen Astrid do it. They use them to travel. What the shit? Hello? If someone is here, we're not going to fight you.
Okay. First, I want you to make a persuasion check.
Okay. 17.
Okay. And then I want you to make an investigation check.
29.
Okay. You can also make these checks as well, Nairi, if you care to.
Sure. What was the first one?
First one is persuasion.
Well, that would be only curiosity, though.
Yes. So you would need an investigation check.
That would be 24.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Woo. Okay, so first of all, your persuasion check. So the light from the candle is dim, but easily enough to light up this space. Though with the two of you in here, it casts shadows. And as you speak, you start to see the flickering of the flame begin to almost make shapes on the walls as your shadows begin to move without you. And both yours and Tasha's shadows overlap with one another behind the bowl. And you can see this two-dimensional person. It is obviously humanoid in shape, though they have no depth. Why have you followed me?
You made some noise in an empty house.
Obviously not that empty.
Obviously. How long have you been here?
Long.
Okay. Who are you?
I have many names.
What should we call you?
You can call me Valeris.
Valeris.
Why have you come here?
With this house?
This place was abandoned.
Our friends knew it. They spent time here. We were running from somewhere else.
Oh. All right, then.
You were hoping we came here for some other specific purpose related to the house?
No, I feared that this place had become populated again.
No, we will not be here for long.
Feared. That's ominous. Why would you fear? What's up with this place?
Because it is their house. They live here.
Oh.
I would not want to live with people I did not know. I am making assumptions, I am sorry.
You're most astute.
That's what people tell me. Well, no, that's not what people tell me. They have many other words they would use to describe me, but you are kind to say.
I had come to visit my mother.
Your mother?
If you will step outside, I can explain.
I give Tasha a look as like, are you cool with this? Because I have a namesake that I'm obliged to live up to.
Yeah.
Virtue names being what they are.
Right.
This was a very
Ta-
deliberate character choice for Jade as an excuse to fucking do everything
Right.
Mhm.
and talk to everybody.
The next
Tasha
tiefling is
gives
named
you-
Not Curious at All.
Yeah,
So,
Tasha
yeah.
gives you kind of like fucking why not? This is happening. Sure.
Okay, then
Kind
we'll
of gesture.
step back out of the little cupboard and back out through the closet to make room.
Okay, and as you move, your shadows stretch out with you, and this thing appears to move as you move until it reaches the crux of where the darkness of the closet meets the light of the room. And out steps a young girl human wearing myriad robes.
That was a clever trick.
My mother blesses me with many things.
Who's your mother, kid?
She is the mother to light, life, fate.
Sure.
As in literally your mother?
I do not understand. Do you have another word for mother?
Well, we really do not have time to get into my situation with mothers. It is a really fucking long story.
Yeah.
It is possible for the person who brings you into this world from this body to be a mother, but also for a woman who raises you, or for somebody that offers you support to be a mother. There is no one way to be a mother.
I suppose I've never heard it used though. She is the one who gave me life. Yes? And the one who clothed me, fed me, made me whole. The one that watched after me, taught me, protected.
Well, Lars, forgive me a question that may be quite intrusive. Are you actually human? Or are you just looking like one right now?
That is an odd question to ask someone.
It really isn't. I've traveled with some strange folks. I do not like to make assumptions about people.
Me is complicated.
Oh, we're all complicated. Especially that one. And I nod my head towards Tasha.
Tasha, who is the living embodiment of an eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
Which she does. She eye rolls at that comment.
Audibly.
Audibly.
It is okay if it is complicated or I am asking strange questions. It just sounds to me like you are saying that perhaps, given the shrine and the mirror carvings, that perhaps you're talking about the myriad.
Oh, you know of my mother.
Okay, that's where I thought this conversation was going. Yes, I know of the myriad. My sister is a cleric of them.
Cleric?
Oh, you are. Okay. Do you know the word priest? No. Okay.
Someone who follows.
She's a girl about 12. Long blonde hair, deep green eyes.
Never had to deal with a priest. Lucky thing.
Her skin is like marble white.
Oh. Does she definitely look human? I was going to say, yeah, Asima.
Her body looks human. It looks like a human body.
So no, like, slightly pointed ears or strange eyes?
Nope.
No tails?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, nothing of that nature. Though she generally does seem different.
Sure.
but anatomically speaking,
Right. Sorry, Twitch. There's shenanigans going on our Discord chat. Don't mind everybody else. Well, Valaris, I'll have to get you to tell me some of your other names, in case that is not important right now. Well, the myriad is worshipped by people because of the gifts they bring to the world, and with people who would seek their blessing. And clerics are people who are given gifts by the myriad to help. They are gifted magic. Sometimes, not all. Sometimes there are priests who just like to tell you about the god and how the god wants you to live your life, but most of the time priests are full of shit. Quite frankly. But clerics are sort of chosen by a god to do their work, I suppose.
interesting.
As are you.
Thank you.
Curiosity, what are we doing here?
Having a conversation with a very strange young lady, it would seem. How long have you been? Oh, this is a good one. Do you have any concept of the passage of time? You said you've been here for a long time.
I assume so.
Do you know who used to live here? We found letters and things up in the observatory.
Oh yes, the elves.
That was a long time ago. What about since the elves? Because the elves were a long time ago, is my understanding. Because there are lots of fucking dragons out there right now.
Well, after the elves, it got very quiet for a bit. And then... I remember there were 2 men that came. But after that, I can't recall. I think that you were the third lot to come through.
2 men.
2 men?
What? How long ago were 2 men? Because our friends were here like a while ago, but that might not have seemed that long ago. One of them is like super tall with red hair and nice ears and a kind of a flat nose like a cow. I don't know if you've ever seen a cow. Have you ever seen a cow? You've seen a cow?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of them looks a little bit like a cow, but it's rude to say that, so don't say that to him. And the other one is blonde and very pretty.
Oh, yes, those are them.
Was there anybody between the elves and the 2 men?
Or
And then obviously
till
us. Or between the 2 men and then us?
No.
Is there any way people could have been here without you noticing?
No, unless I didn't notice them.
That is a very fair assumption. Do you like sleep for a long time or like stay in shadows?
Oh, I just spend my time in my room normally.
And this is your room.
Oh no, my room's over there. And she walks across the room through the mirror.
Okay. I don't know if we can go in there. Looking at Tosh, I'm just like,
She. This is weird. This is really weird. I'm not comfortable. What?
Tosha, all of the shit we have been through, and this is your threshold for weird?
All right, listen. This person? Question mark? Has been
This-
here since
The elves. The elves.
and just what?
Well, clearly, they are the offspring of a god.
Why not?
She goes to Myriad, her mother. I'm sure somebody will build a religion around this and it will all go horribly wrong down the pipeline, but that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah. So, what are we doing here, though? What
I
do
don't
we
know.
have to do with this?
I suppose we have nothing to do with this. But Ambassador down there is going to be a while doing his thing. Garrick and Joron have gone doing their thing. If this is her house, or it is basically her house, it seems polite to speak to them. Quite frankly, this is the nicest thing I've had to deal with in a few days. So excuse me for enjoying talking to the little girl, who is not really a little girl.
Speaking of nice things, I take Curiosity's wrist and I pull something out of my pocket and I slap it onto the wrist. Don't ever take this off. It'll be nice to hear you once in a while. Well, when you're not talking. And then I attach the bracelet. Jingle, jingle. Little cowbell bracelet.
More like jingle bells, so like jingle bells. As opposed to clank, 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 clank.
Da-dong, 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 da-dong.
Right. Church bells.
I'm sorry.
Sanctuary.
I was really worried, you know.
Given what happened, possibly not unduly so. I sort of absent-mindedly rubbed my thumb across the fucking stump on my hand.
We need to do something about that. Maybe find something or someone that can fix it for you.
I'm ambidextrous, it's fine. And I like pull something out of one pocket and throw it and start juggling. It's fine.
This is why it would suck if something had happened to you. There are not a lot of people like you.
I should hope not.
And you're the only one that can keep me social, so there's that.
That's
So
a polite
literally-
word. That's a polite word for what you call your interactions with people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here with these guys if you hadn't, you know, been all moral compass blah in my ear.
Keep that filthy word out of your mouth. We should talk to the little girl, who is not really a little girl.
We should. But I do want to talk to you about some things afterwards.
We've got time. I can't see this taking more than an hour. I've got things I need to tell you too.
Okay.
I'm going to tap a finger against the surface of the mirror, just with my hand.
Okay. When you tap it with your finger, it ripples like a pond.
Should we do this? We were Valaris, is it okay to come into your room?
No answer.
What if we can't come back? Do we
you
really want
want-
to risk that right now with the only person that can bring us back here not with us?
Okay, look, hold on to my tail and I'll put my face through the mirror.
I just grab the tail. What else can I do?
Right.
And I'm just
And-
standing
yeah,
there
I'm just trying
holding
to see if
a
it's
tiefling
like
tail.
if it's like a portal or anything like that. If it's just nothing happens, then I'll pull back and then like step all the way through. But
It is a portal. However,
okay.
it's not like a transpositional portal that would take you from one place to another. It works almost like a gateway. In fact, you have now entered into an extra dimensional space.
Can I breathe in there?
Uh-huh. The floor, the walls, the ceiling are all made out of mirror. It is glittering and sparkling and wonderful. There is a bed that the frame of which is also crafted out of mirror, that is laid down with thick, woolly, fluffy blankets and big plush pillows.
Mm-hmm.
There is a pit in the center of the room that is covered by a large mirrored dome that burns with fire. There's a selection of what look to be hand-carved toys. And there is a bureau with a mirror that Valeris is sitting at as she is sort of taking off her robe and putting it up. And you now notice that beneath the robe, she's wearing bedclothes, pajamas.
Mm.
And she turns around and looks at you. It's like, oh, good, you did decide to come.
Sorry, my friend is very paranoid, but a lot of shit we have been through, so it is kind of understandable. Does time move here the same as it moves in there?
I think so.
Okay, I'll stick. One moment, please. Tosha, you have to get your ass in here. It is all mirrors.
I turn around and I push my ass through, and then I come out and I push my face through.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. If she did that, I would have pulled her in by the back of her pants, just like by the back of the
Alright.
trousers.
Alright, yeah. Oh, you can't even take it. What the fuck?
You can see your body from every angle.
Unfortunately.
Oh, piss off with your unfortunately. Have you seen your ass?
True.
Tasha,
Mm-hmm.
you recall a place very similar to this. It looks exactly like the place that you had entered into with Carrick and Joran before.
You have stink
Okay.
face.
I would
Well,
like
we
you
were
to make a perception check for me. Just you.
Si, senor. Perception. That's 19.
Okay. So as you've been pulled through this place, and it immediately becomes apparent to you that this is very similar to what you had already seen, you get a closer look at the mirror that is making up the walls. And as you get very close to it and sort of look eye to eye, almost nose touching the mirrored surface, you can just barely make out something on the other side. It looks like eggs.
What kind of eggs?
Just large eggs.
What do they look like?
You know, egg-shaped.
Like chicken eggs?
No, like very large eggs.
Yeah, but like what appearance? What color?
You can't tell because you're looking through a reflective surface. I'm telling you that you're making out the shape of eggs.
Oh.
Oh, like when you see a reflection on the inside of your glasses, like you can see
Almost
the
like
shape.
that. Like,
Yeah.
or have you ever seen the two-way glass? Where, like, if you get
Mm.
really close to you, you can kind of see what's on the other side, but not quite. It's like that.
Is it coming from just one pane or
No,
all
you
of
can
them?
plainly see it if you press your face all the way up against the wall. You can see the shapes of it out there.
What's going on the other side of this?
I'm not really sure. My mother made me this room when I was born.
And what do you see things through the mirrors?
Not any more than anyone else sees things through a mirror.
Can you get through the mirrors?
Oh no, you can't travel between broken mirrors.
Uh-huh. Is the one above her bureau hole? Like
Yes.
a hole mirror?
Yes, it is.
Where does that one go? Oh, if it is a secret, I know it is okay. You do not
No,
have to say. You
it's
do
not
not
a
know it.
secret. It's just not a very good place.
What kind of a bad place is it?
It's dark, scary, filled with monsters.
Do you know where in the world it is? If it is on this plane? No. If I poke my head through, will I get sucked through, or can I have a look?
Um,
Or is that a really bad idea and I'm going to get my face melted off?
I can't say what's on the other side of it right now.
But is it a door like this, the one we came through? Did
But
your
I'd ha-
mother?
But I'd have to open it.
Right. Did your mother give you that doorway?
No,
Did you make it? Why? If it goes to a bad place.
I was trying to learn how to make my own doors.
So
Work.
can you go anywhere if you concentrate and open a doorway?
Mm, no. No, every mirror goes to another mirror in particular.
And
So if
so
mm,
you're trying to make a mirror that can go to any mirror.
where are you trying to go?
I'm trying to fix my mother's mirror.
Your mother's mirror is broken?
It's the one in the closet.
Oh, the one that was like all in pieces on the wall. That was a very broken mirror.
Also, curiosity, there are eggs on the other side, so I'm guessing because the mirror's broken, whatever's behind it can't get through, and whatever's behind it is probably like some sort of, so that has some significance you should probably know.
Okay. How did your mother's mirror get broken? Is it the one that would take you to your mother?
Or bring her to me.
And the door is broken.
Yes.
How long has it been broken?
A long time. A bad man came and took mother away. And when they left, he broke the mirror. And I haven't seen her since.
Does this bad man have a name? Valak, perhaps?
I don't know his name.
Do you remember what he looked like?
Mm-hmm. I'll
Do
never
you
forget.
just
He was tall. Taller than either of you.
That's pretty tall. Human, elf?
It's hard to say. He was always in this deep, deep cloak. But he had these long, gaunt, terrifying arms with claws on the ends. And his skin was gray, old oatmeal. He smelled horribly. But I'll never forget. This laughing the whole time. This creepy, unnerving laughter.
Kind of like a laughter that makes you really uncomfortable when you hear it.
Mm-hmm. And he wore a special medallion. It was this big gold thing with a skull in the center of it and a big green gem.
Uh-huh.
They're fucking fat. I don't say that to the kid.
Mother said he was going to take me too. So I hid in my room. I've been here a long time, but I started getting curious.
It's a good trait.
What was going on in the world? Everything's so big. I'm so little.
Valaris, was this before the elves, after the elves,
This was after the elves.
but before the two men?
And was it much more recently before
Was
the
it?
two men than it
Yeah.
was
Was
after?
it? Yes. Was it closer to the men or closer to the elves?
It was closer to the men.
Would you say maybe like 30 years ago?
I don't really know.
That
And
is fair. Sorry, please.
What I know, I've told you. If I knew much more, I'd tried to find her myself.
That is fair.
But I keep lighting a candle in hope that she can find her way back.
Out of character. Oh yeah, you can normally tell because I'm doing Jade voice rather than whatever the fuck Curie's voice is.
Right. Right. Cartoon
No.
character.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Right.
Given that I know a cleric of the Myriad, and just like our experience on our travels, stuff like that, have we ever met any worshippers of the Myriad who have said like, oh, they've had trouble or their magic isn't working right or anything like that?
It's not something that is
Mm,
spoken about regularly.
yeah,
There are a lot of trade secrets to the group.
I'll bet.
But the one thing that Astrid would have told you about is she would have described to you how the church works together in order to make sure that they're able to move about the mirrors. And that there's a legend about how it used to be extremely easy. But since then, the church has had to create an extra planar space that allows them to transport themselves there to select the mirror that they're trying to go to in another place.
They built a way station, basically. They couldn't travel direct anymore. Shit.
Curie,
Yeah.
can I talk to you like 5 steps this way? 2 steps, 1 step? Just, can I talk to you?
Yes, can I have 1 second more?
Yeah.
Valeris, how would you feel about a hug?
I would like that.
I am going to give this fucking little girl a hug. Oh my god, I'm dying.
She buries her face in your chest and cuddles in very close. And you hear just the slightest bit of a sob come out as her body tenses at your touch and then relaxes. And it feels almost like all of the weight in her has gone down into her knees.
I'll like take her weight.
Mhm. It's been so long.
I am sorry.
When will the bad man bring my mom back?
I can't answer that question for you, Valeris. I can tell you that we are people trying to stop bad men. Maybe that bad man is the same as one of the ones we are trying to fight.
I hope so.
Okay, I'm going to very reluctantly let go. It's like I need to talk to my friend.
It's all right. I need to get back to bed anyway.
Well, we'll let you sleep. Thank you for letting us into your room and talking to us. You did not have to do that.
You're very kind.
Cosmic balance to make up for this one.
I have my moments. Not
And I
always,
have-
but I.
And I have moments where I am a total dickweed. It balances out.
Valeris giggles at you. And then
Rightly so.
wiggles a couple of fingers in a wave and then goes back and gets underneath her blankets.
Wave and step out through the mirror.
So,
So,
remember when I told you a few days ago that I had looked into the orb thing
Mhm.
and I saw my father there?
yeah.
He had this skull. And he always does. He always has this skull. And it was laughing constantly. And it's not the first and only time that I've found significance in that.
Independence sounded awfully familiar to that one that fucked up Carrick this morning.
So I think this may be wishful thinking, but if it has anything to do with what the fuck he was holding, then we may have more of a cause to figure out what the fuck is going on by going to find him. If he has something to do with this Valak, and if Valak is coming or something like that, then this is no longer just something we can fix if we want to. This is something that's coming for us, and we have to fix before it.
If something is powerful enough to take a god and imprison a god, this is beyond huge.
I
At the
feel
word
like this-
beyond huge, you hear a absolutely horrifying boom from upstairs,
What
Holy
now?
shit, go
followed
up.
by
Yep.
I run.
followed by an additional boom that nearly shakes the floor out from beneath you, from just outside the door. And then a following crash and boom
Oh,
from
yep.
the third floor.
Yep. So am I going to go out and see a canoe-sized hole in by any chance?
As you open up the door, you see that the floor in front of the door is
Mhm.
gone. And looking up, you see that there is a hole in the floor up above. And below you is a gemstone the size of a canoe.
Does it go? If I look all the way up, is there a hole in the ceiling, like the roof of the observatory? Because that was all glass, right?
No, there's no hole in the roof. It must have manifested above the 3rd floor.
What the shit?
Do dragons shit crystals now?
No, then there would be a hole in the roof.
And then Abadasser looks up through the hole. Well, let me tell you about dragon shit and crystals. And that's where I'm going to call game.
Fucking Christ.
Beautiful. Yeah, I figured that the diamond was probably going to be heavy enough to bust through a fucking floor.
Boom, boom, boom.
Fucking brilliant.
God
Well-
damn it, I wanted to have a conversation.
Well, we'll petition to ask to get. Oh no, we'll have to circle round again. We'll get a conversation.
Mm,
Nope, no more conversations for Tasha.
nope.
All right. So congratulations on getting this far. It's so sorry that everyone died this game.
Yeah.
And for anyone that just tuned in, watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everybody in the chat for joining us today. It's been a chill one, but I hope you found it interesting. All these dealings with dragons and strange conversations with little girls that aren't really little girls? ? And if you would like to join us on Monday, we are continuing with Clouds Over Sharn, DM'd by our lovely Tom.
So lovely. So Tom. Wow.
Yeah, and catch up with that group and the newly elfified Mulder and see what they fucking get up to.
It's so much more fun to scratch your own head.
But yes, same time as usual, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.